yourself ready, go cat go. Ooh yeah, be telling you something you surely know. Ooh yeah, born in a land where we wave them high, and we got blue angels climbing in the sky. I'm the luckiest guy in America. I'm the luckiest man born in America.
Well, I got me a guy named Johnny B. Good.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Hello again.
Welcome to Unaffordable America with a focus on Connecticut.
For now.
How are you, Joe?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, the past week went okay for you?
Yeah, we survived our first show. This is our second show.
Yeah.
Just so if you missed the first show, it's a series of segments. We have a guest that he interviews. He's in charge of the interviews. And for instance, who's our guest this week?
Well, this week we have Suzanne Bates. And Suzanne Bates was the former policy director of the Yankee Institute for Public Policy here in Connecticut. But why don't we play a tune for you all, and then we'll come back in a minute and we'll get to our guest.
The band segment is next.
The band segment is next.
Hey, my fallen angel, you're like heaven to me. I've been texting you all morning, trying to give you a warning, wanna love you, baby.
Pacing in my doorway, you ain't going no way, trying to love me, baby.
You know it doesn't matter rain or shine, I think about you all the time. I love you, baby.
Texting on the phone or meeting me alone, you wanna love me, baby.
Hey, my fallen angel, you're like heaven to me. Hey, my fallen angel, you're like heaven to me.
I never said that I could see the forest from the trees, but I can see your eyes right in front of me. I never said I touched the sun, but I found you and you're the one. Gotta get your light shining down on me. I never said that I could see the forest from the trees, but I can see your eyes right in front of me. I never said I touched the sun, but I found you and you're the one. Gotta get your light shining down on me.
Hey, my fallen angel, you're like heaven to me. Hey, my fallen angel, you're like heaven to me. I'm trying to love you, baby. I'm trying to love you, baby. I'm trying to love you, baby. I'm trying to love you, baby.
So, Dan, tell us a little bit about Suzanne.
Well, Suzanne is the senior writer and researcher for Americans for Fair Treatment. I think we could all use some fair treatment, just like here on Unaffordable America. But she's also, in terms of our show, very important because she was the former policy director at the Yankee Institute for Public Policy here in Hartford, Connecticut. So Suzanne is going to be great. So let's bring her on.
Let's look at the interview.
All right.
Go.
Suzanne, how are you?
Hi, Dan. It's good to be with you. I'm good. Good to see your face.
Yes, it's nice to see you too. Are you? And you used to work for the Yankee Institute for Public Policy here in Connecticut, and did a real bang-up job at that, huh?
Thank you. Well, I tried. I tried. I hope I left the state better than I found it.
Well, I think you did. I think you made a huge difference. Yeah, I mean, Yankee Institute irritates all kinds of people that it wouldn't have.
That's right.
For you. But it's good because people are learning about what's really going on there, and that's very important.
Well, the most fun I had was I got to start Yankee's legislative outreach program, where I was actually at the Capitol working directly with lawmakers. And it's funny, we get so jaded about politicians, but I think there are a lot of really good people up there who really do want things to change for Connecticut. I think a lot of them are misguided in terms of what they think will change Connecticut, but it was good. It was good to be up there. I think it gave me a better perspective on political leaders than I had before. And so my first session in the Capitol was 2015. So that was the year they passed that massive tax increase. Mm-hmm. And so, it was funny. I kind of came to Connecticut politics thinking, why is Connecticut so much more expensive? My husband was in the military, so we lived all over the U.S. and, moved to Connecticut, and it was like, it's so expensive here, but, we're not really getting the bang for our buck. Like, we have fewer services than we've had in other states, and we're paying more. Like, where's the disconnect there? So I came up to the Capitol thinking, well, here's the disconnect, and we're going to show everybody. And surely they know they shouldn't keep increasing the cost of the state. But that year in 2015, they passed this massive tax increase. And of course, it came back to it hurt the state a lot. And so it was really frustrating to watch. There were all these warnings, people like us, we were warning them, if you increase taxes, it's not going to turn out well for the state. And they did it anyway. And, that was.
And don't you know, like I think you go up there and you figure like, hey, if I go up and I tell this person and say, look, this is a catastrophe. This is going to hurt business. Their lives are going to be destroyed. It's right. You think that the reception is going to be, oh, you're right. Gosh, we got to do something about this. This is serious. But it tends to be a different type of thing, and lawmakers fall all over the place on that, right?
Well, and we had numbers, right? We had these sort of like numbers don't lie. So after the 2011 tax increases, there like $2.5 billion in taxable income left the state, and the people who made that money, that was the net. So like, it was just a huge outmigration, and mostly to Florida. Right. I mean, people knew the state was in a bad place, and they were like, well, if you're going to increase my taxes this year, you're probably going to do it again. So I'm out of here. And so we had these hard numbers, and we're showing them to everybody. Like, look what happened after 2011. Please don't do this again. And they did it again in 2015. And then another huge outflow of income happened after 2015. And in fact, they took in less tax revenue in 2016 than they did in 2015, even with a tax increase.
And I think in Connecticut now, affordability is a nonpartisan issue, right? It's something that we can all rally around. And so So how did Connecticut get here? Now, is the income tax the defining moment when everything went awry?
I think that was certainly the catalyst. And you have to look at Connecticut compared to the other states around it, right? We had Massachusetts to the north and New York to the south and west. And, Connecticut was sort of this tax-free, island among all of its, surrounding states. And so people flocked to the state because of that. And then when they passed the income tax it was like the sort of the death knell. From 90, was it 92? Gosh, I
think 92 or 93.
Anyway, after they passed it, we've had out-migration ever since. Like there were maybe 1 or 2 years where they've had in-migration, more people moving in than moving out. But almost every single year since they passed the income tax, we've had more people move out of the state than have moved in. And so, but I think that it really got bad after the 2008 recession. So Connecticut, Dan Malloy, who was the governor at the time, said, I'm going to increase taxes and spend more. Like, I'm going to show you that our progressive policies work. So all these other, more conservative states and even a lot of blue states were like, we're going to cut spending. Dan Malloy was like, I'm not going to cut spending. I'm going to spend more and spend us all the way out of the recession. So he raised taxes and spent money. And it didn't work. Guess what? Those progressive ideas don't work. You actually, it tanked the state. We had the worst job market in the country, job growth in the country. Well, almost the worst from 2010 to 2020. Our housing prices grew the slowest. Like, it was just a terrible decade for the state after, tax increases in 2011 and 2015. So that's right. Well, and Massachusetts actually became a lower tax state than Connecticut over that time period. So we always looked at Massachusetts as this higher tax state, but it isn't anymore. And so, and you also have to look at, like, what do you have? What value do you offer, right? Connecticut had low taxes to offer, but we don't have like a New York City or a Boston, right? So we have to attract people in different ways. And so that low tax was sort of our comparable advantage. And then when you got rid of that, what are you offering to people?
Thank you so much for coming on. And
you're so nice to me, Dan. Thank you for inviting me. And I wish you all the best. And I hope you stay healthy and have a very Merry Christmas.
You too. And we'll talk in the new year. And thank you for being on the premiere.
Thank you for inviting me. Take care.
Wow.
Something else, huh?
Another very competent and serious person. And she's a numbers person. You can tell that. This is real management.
And she really got in at a granular level to understand what the problem was, just like Yankee does every day. So if you go to the yankeeinstitute.org, you will be able to see their latest research and what's happening up in Hartford this legislative session as far as different types of stuff we need to be concerned about. But now it's time for your favorite segment, Hoodwinked with Joe Petrina.
Welcome to State Mandates. Who should pay? When examining budget proposals coming out of Town Hall, one can't help but notice that most of the expenditures have nothing to do with your residency. Basically, at a bare bones level, you only use local roads and police protection, not much more. The lion's share of your municipal payouts covers state-decreed mandates. Free K-12 education comes in on top, but code administration, fire, zoning, building, environmental finish a close second. Most citizens do not realize that the Constitution authorizes just two classes of taxes, direct and indirect. With direct taxes, you have no choice, pay or else, but direct taxes must be apportioned equally amongst the community. For example, a fixed taxed amount per adult. This type of poll tax was actually used to pay for the War of 1812. But here's something. When Southern Democrats complained, Congress agreed to charge only 4/5 for slaves. Conversely, indirect taxes apply to commercial activities such as sales, income, tolls, and capital gains. A rate applied to the transaction value. Mind you, no constitutional provisions exist to tax homes and vehicles based upon their assessed value. That's a third kind of a tax. Nope, just two choices, direct and indirect. With indirect taxes, you have some wiggle room in controlling affordability. Don't buy the $100 bottle of wine, buy the $20 bottle. Avoid the highway tolls, take the back roads, get an electric car, and stop paying gasoline taxes. Direct taxes, though, fit nicely with the usage of local roads and police by local residents. Believe it or not, if you divide the local road and police budgets by the number of adults in the community, the bill probably comes in around $250 per resident adult. A utility bill costing far less than cable TV. So after paying the $250 for common local services, this leaves the remaining expenditures in the state mandate column. These line items thus demand funding from indirect taxes originated by the legislature that decreed the mandates in the first place. It's called taxation with representation, originating in the state legislature where it belongs. You see, whether direct or indirect in nature, the Founding Fathers crafted a system whereby we, the people, could keep government affordable. Burying state mandate expenses inside of the municipal budgets circumvented this dynamic. The legislature ducked its job, and now unaffordable living reigns without checks and balances. I side with the founders and advocate pushback and the practice about diverting state tax responsibility to the municipalities and unlawful assessment-led home taxation. For more on this, visit hoodwink.net. Thank you. Well, that's our second show, and we're still standing, or sitting, but we want to thank you for coming by. And Dan, what else you got?
Well, we want you all to come out, find us on the web. You can look at the screen there and come and visit us on social media, and we'll see you next week, all right?
Yeah, we need to stay in touch. We can't be doing this as a little trickle feed.
That's right.
We need a good email base, and we'll keep you updated on our progress.
Exactly. Join us. Together, we will make Connecticut and America more affordable for all of us. Good night.
Well, I got me a guy named Johnny B. Good.
Ooh, yeah.
He ain't perfect, but he sure be good.
Ooh, yeah. The luckiest one.